friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Christine. Today I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how I got this look for beginners, and I actually recently posted a little TikTok that is going up in views. I guess a lot of people just wanted to know how I did my everyday makeup, so this is a quick tutorial that is for beginners. I did a mixture of high-end and affordable makeup goodies as well. So we have products here for all sorts of budgets. I also talked through all the brushes that I use. I showed you how I did this bushy brow situation as well as a smudged out eyeliner that I got so many questions about. So before we go ahead and dive into the tutorial, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Especially if you like me and my videos, is just a free way to support me. And also make sure you hit the little notification bell. That lets you know every time I post a new video every Tuesday and Thursday. You don't want to miss out. And anyways, if you want to see a tutorial on how I got this look, just keep watching. So starting off, I already did all of my skincare, but I went ahead and applied sunscreen. I'm using the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen, and I wear sunscreen every single day to protect my skin, okay? And I recently uploaded a video on my favorite SPF. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll go ahead and link it up in the corner. I talk about this all the time, but I'm all about skincare first, makeup second, and the better your skin looks, the better anything else is gonna look that you apply on top. If you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and link my skincare routine down below. When I'm doing a quick makeup look, I usually start with the brows first, just because it helps to frame my entire face and give me a good idea for like what I want to do with the rest of the makeup. I recently posted a quick little brow tutorial on my TikTok, and I have just been loving these two products to do my brows. So I'm going to use these today, and this is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil and the Patrick Ta Clear Brow Wax. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been raving about this brow wax non-stop. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Benefit Brow Pencil and lightly underline the bottom of my brows, kind of giving it the shape that I want. Then using the spoolie to really brush it out, and I just keep alternating between the brow pencil and the brow spoolie until I have the exact shape that I want. So right off the bat, you could see that makes such a big difference in my brows. I feel like my face looks a little bit more balanced because without it, my brows just are non-existent. Once I have that done, next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the brush and do strokes and upward motions, and this helps to replicate like real brow hairs. And don't worry if you accidentally make it too dark, because that is what the spoolie is for. Ever since I picked up this Patrick Ta brow wax, I've been using it every single time I do my brows, and the secret trick is to use setting spray with it. So I'll go ahead and spray it with setting spray. And this one here is the Catrice HD setting spray. Next, I have a little brow brush. This is actually the MOTD brow brush. Go ahead and swirl it in that little mixture. I will go ahead and just brush it through my brows, and it just makes such a difference. It really holds my brow hairs up all day. And look at it. So much better. Okay, now that the brows are all done, I'm actually going to clean it up with a little bit of concealer and a little brush. This part is optional, but ever since I started doing it, I just am so much happier with the way that my brows look. So I just pick up a little bit of concealer on my hand, and this is a little Luxie 246 Precision Crease brush. And then I'm just going to quickly clean up brows. Brows are done. Next, I'm going to show you guys how I smudge out my eyeliner. One thing that helps me a lot is curling my eyelashes first, just because I find that curling my eyelashes really changes the shape of my eye, really helps to open everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes with my Laura Mercier lash curler. Next, I'm going to go in with this Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen. This is one of my favorite eyeliners ever, and it's from the drugstore, so it's affordable. This is just a really good pencil liner and smudges easily, but also stays all day. And the key part is having a good angled brush, and I'm going to use this Sigma E75 angled brow brush. I also do have a video all about how I do my wing liner, and this is like the original tutorial that I posted last year, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. So first thing we're going to do is as close to the lash line as possible. I'm going to take this Pixie eyeliner and trace from the middle of my eye to the outside of my eye, just so that I have some eyeliner laid down. Then I'm going to go in with the angled brush and smudge that out into the shape that I want. And don't worry if you mess up, because you can go in with a Q-tip afterwards to kind of clean it up. And you can kind of see with the shape, the closer I get into my eye, the thinner I want the line to be. And then as I get to the outer corner of my eye, I'm going to thicken up the line a lot. Okay, so I'm happy with the way that that looks. I'm going to do the same to the other eye. And again, see how messy it is? But it doesn't matter because we are going to smudge it out. Happy with the eyeliner, and then I'm going to use my favorite Heroin Make Volume and Curl Mascara. This is actually a Japanese mascara, but this is just one of the best waterproof mascaras ever. It really keeps my lashes curled all day. If you've watched any of my makeup tutorials, you already know I almost always layer a waterproof mascara and then put on my normal mascara on top. The waterproof mascara will help keep my lashes curled and up all day, because if I skip this step, my lashes are just gonna go straight back down because they're naturally very straight. So once I have that waterproof coat on, I'm gonna go ahead and apply this Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions mascara. This mascara is a tubing mascara, so it has like little fibers in it that really stick to my lashes and make them look really thick and long. And those are the eyes finish. Especially with this duo, I don't even need falsies anymore because it just makes my natural lashes look amazing. And next we're gonna go into my favorite part, which is the face makeup. This is the Rare Beauty foundation and concealer. I have the foundation in the shade 280 and the concealer is in 250W. You want to get a concealer that is 1 to 2 shades lighter because you want it to help bring out any of the highlights of your face. I'm going to showcase a technique that I showcased on my TikTok, and what I actually do now, instead of doing foundation first and concealer second, I actually go in with the concealer first. It gives you coverage in all the areas that you need it. By using foundation last, I just found myself not using as much foundation and therefore my makeup doesn't look as cakey. When I apply my concealer, I put it in a very strategic place. So I put it right on the inner corners of my eye, and then I also put it on like the underside of my wing, and it just helps to make my eyes look a little bit more uplifted. I'll apply some concealer around my nose as well to help cover up and conceal any redness. Add a little bit to my chin and just a little bit in between my brows. Then I went ahead and blended everything out with a damp sponge. This one here is from AliExpress. I'll go ahead and link it down below. It's one of my favorite sponges. If you're using a sponge, you want to make sure that it is damp because that way it won't absorb as much product. And I prefer using a sponge to blend out my makeup just because it allows the product to really sink into the skin and look a little bit more natural as well. Also, as you can see, the concealer was just a bit lighter than my skin tone, and so it really helped to brighten those areas. My dark circles don't look as dark, but there's still certain areas around my face that needs a little bit more of evening, and that is where the foundation comes in. I actually have been really enjoying these Rare Beauty products, but if you guys want a more in-depth video about maybe a full face of Rare Beauty, just let me know. But this foundation is really great because it's lightweight, so it's really hard to mess up. So I'm not going to apply a whole lot because I already have the coverage that I need, so I'm just gonna dot a little bit around the edges of my face. I already have concealer here, so I don't need more coverage there, and then using the sponge to really blend it out. Okay, now that that is blended out, you can see my skin is just so much more flawless looking, but this foundation is really great because it's really lightweight and gives like a good medium coverage. It's super easy to work with. Once we have all that blended out, I'm gonna go in with cream blush first. Especially if you're a beginner, you probably wanna do something a little bit more natural looking. So cream blush just really sinks into the skin and makes your skin look so much more naturally flushed. So the cream blush we're gonna be using today is this Tower 28 cream blush in the shade Magic Hour, and these blushes are actually really reasonably priced. They're at Sephora, they're clean, and this color is just gorgeous. It looks like a very natural looking blush, and if you mess up, it's not going to be too big of a deal because it's not super pigmented. When you're using cream blush, you have 3 different options. You can use your finger to apply it, a sponge, or a brush, and I just prefer using a brush. It gives me a little bit more control, but if you'd like, you can always go in directly with the sponge and apply it onto your face, and that is a little bit more forgiving and easier to work with. I'm going to be using the Morphe M523 brush, and this is just a really dense brush that is really good for cream blush because it just blends it out really easily, and I just prefer using brushes just because it's easier to work with, but it still gives me a little bit of that pigment which I want. I want to apply the blush kind of like on the apples of my cheeks, so if you like smile, that is like this area right here. And then also what I like to do is actually drag it across my nose, so in kind of like a W shape, just like this. And that gives me a more natural looking flush. Like if you were to spend some time in the sun or if you blushed in real life, this is kind of the area that you would normally turn a little bit pink. And as you can see already, it helps to warm up my face and add a little bit of color in a way that still looks really natural. Next, I'm gonna go in with a sponge and help to just blend out some of the edges so it's not super harsh. So I am happy with that. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, and this is key, especially if you have normal to oily skin. You want your face to stay all day and prevent it from looking patchy. So I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is one of my favorite powders of all time. It's just like a really good solid powder. It doesn't give you any flashback and it photographs really, really well. So what I normally like to do is I will go ahead and blend out my under eyes, make sure that my concealer concealer under there isn't creased or anything like that. I'm actually going to start with my under eyes first, and wherever you put the sponge first is where a majority of the product is going to go. So because I don't want this much powder to go directly on my under eyes, I'm actually going to go ahead and pat it first where I get the most oily, and that way most of the product goes there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the sponge and bring it to my under eyes. And also, if you have oily skin like me, it's also going to keep you from looking as oily in your T-zone area where you normally get a little bit more oils throughout the day. I'm going to pick up a little bit more and just apply between my brows. You're also like mattifying your skin a little bit more so it doesn't look quite as oily. I'm also going to bring a little bit of the powder right here because I do get a little bit oily looking right there, and I'm going to go ahead and take what's remaining on the sponge and just pat it around my mouth area. Wherever you put concealer, you just want to make sure that you set it. Once that is done, I'm actually going to apply powder to the rest of my face. If you have normal or dry skin, you can go ahead and skip this, but again, I have such oily skin that I want to make sure I set my entire face. So I'm using this Sephora Collection Compact Powder, and this one is in the shade 42 Warm Tan. It is a little bit dark for me right now, but that's okay. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush, and this is the Spicy Choco brush. These brushes are so freaking soft, and I do have a discount code that I'll leave down below. If you're looking for some face brushes, I highly recommend. So I'm just gonna pick a little bit of this powder up and use it to set my entire face, and this just helps to keep any of that from moving around all day. Now I'm also gonna brush it on my under eyes as well. Now that that is all done, the face is looking really flawless, but I want to bring a little bit more depth back and help to warm up the skin. So I'm actually going to go in with this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep, but this is just one of my favorite bronzers. So I'm going to pick it up with this Morphe M581 brush, and this is a really good bronzing brush because it has a really good like tapered shape. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of this, and when you apply bronzer, you want it to be in a 3 shape around your forehead, below your cheekbones, and then back and along your jawline. And that just helps to really chisel your face, add a little bit of warmth and dimension as well. And so bronzing and contouring are pretty similar. I just do it all in one go. So you want to make sure that you use a bronzer that is not super warm or super cool. You can bring it up higher onto your cheekbones to help warm up your face a little bit, but you don't want to bring it any lower than that line because it's just going to drag your face down, and instead you want a more like uplifted effect. This is without bronzer, and with. My face just looks a little bit more chiseled, you know? And then I'm going to go ahead and drag the bronzer across my face, a little bit on my chin, and then across my nose as well. And this just helps to warm up the face. Okay, so face is looking good. I want to add a little bit more blush. You can skip this, but I'm a blush fanatic, so I'm just going to add a little bit more color to my cheeks. This is the Milani Rose d'Oro Baked Blush, and this is a really pretty drugstore blush. I'm just going to pick up a smidge on my brush. And this is actually a Sephora blush brush, but you can use your cream blush brush from earlier. And I'm just gonna pat that in the area slightly above where we applied the bronzer, and that just helps to add a little bit more color. So you can see this is with and without the powder blush. And then again, dragging that across the nose. We are almost done. I'm gonna take this tinted lip balm here from NARS. This is in the shade Dolce Vita. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair really quick because it is still wet, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look. All I did was blow dried my hair. I've gotten so good at doing my hair, okay? So I'm gonna practice this a few more times and I will show you guys a quick little tutorial. I told you this year I'm gonna get a lot better at doing my hair, and I just feel like doing my hair and simple makeup is just such a quick way to really look put together. Anyways, I love the way that the makeup turned out. This is like my everyday face. It photographs well, it looks good in videos, Zoom meetings, all of that good stuff. So I'll go ahead and link all the products, all the shades, and all the brushes down below as well. If you guys wish to shop through my links, I do get a small commission, which helps to support me and my channel a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up so I know that you want to see more. And that is all for today's video, you guys. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!